Every child knows they have to depend on their parents when they are young. They admire their parents and they look up to them as if they are heroes and the most knowledgeable people in the world. When I became a teenager, however, I found it more and more difficult to listen to my parents. They expected me to be a perfect model student, and I was struggling to meet their expectations. Every time I tried to make a decision on my own, they always like to get involved. Perhaps it was the so-called adolescent meets menopause. We all became impatient and irritable. Almost every conversation we had ended up in argument. When I argued with my mom, the floor was breaking apart in my mind, as if there was a growing gap between me and my family. I was frustrated at not being able to let my voice heard, and they were frustrated that I didn't respect them anymore. One day, I just stopped talking to them. It was awful. I didn't understand why they were so stubborn. We seemed to be at war every day. I treated them as the enemy side and telling myself, let's see who smiles at the end of the war. Now when I think back, my parents must have been devastated. Their son behaved like a total stranger in the house. The good thing about not talking to my parents was that they had no way to interfere with my life anymore. Secretly, I was happy about that. Finally, I got myself some space and freedom. I shut myself in my room and felt much better that nobody was watching or judging me. My little happiness didn't last a very long time. When I failed to pass a very important test, I was shocked. What was I going to do? I had never thought I would fail. How would I face my parents? I felt terrible and helpless. I walked slowly back home, preparing on the way what kind of storm would be in store for me. The dining room was quiet, and my parents were waiting for me. To my surprise, they didn't yell at me this time. I sat down, didn't know what to say. My father broke the ice. "Son, no matter what happens, we love you as always." All of a sudden, my fortress collapsed. Tears rushed to my eyes and I could barely speak. It had been a long time since we sat down and talked to each other. The gap between us had been there for almost 2 years. I didn't even know how to mend it anymore. My parents only talked about how they could help me to fix the problem. When I thought I was falling into a black hole, they showed me a way to climb out of it, that they would help me to join a school abroad. For the first time, they talked to me as if I were a grown-up. No complaint, no blame, no argument. The conversation went well. Our talk that day built a bridge over the gap between us, and we finally found a way to communicate and understand each other. Put myself in their shoes. I might find it very hard to forgive a son like me. I'm very grateful for what my parents have done for me. My friends also have issues with their parents. They argue all the time over trivial things. Perhaps most of the parents are alike. They tend to judge their kids, compare them with the model students, and complain a lot. Dear parents, for your own sake, these are the things that can only annoy your kids and drive them away. One of the reasons they are hooked on the internet is that they can talk to their friends rather than you. My fellow teenager friends, for your own sake, please mind your attitude. You will find your parents are more agreeable when you speak nicely to them. Although their complaint is a terrible way to attract your attention, please tell them you love them. If we know how to make things work, why do we want to live a troublesome life? I'm going away to study abroad soon. There is going to be a real big physical gap between me and my families, both in time and space. For the first time, I wish I could shrink that distance. I would stand on my own feet, and all of a sudden it becomes an overwhelming panic. Mom, I'm going to miss your food. And Dad, your trust gives me the confidence more than anything. I'm carrying all your care and hope in my backpack, and I will be just a phone call away from you. The gap that helped me to think, forced me to grow, And now it's reminding me that I have a family to look after. No matter how far I travel, I will always be at home. Thank you.